Hot stove conversations about baseball, history, football, and current events that may leave you saying there's more to consider. Now, here's your host, Jack Moore.
Okay, welcome to More to Consider. And I'm here with my friend Charles again. A very interesting week, sad week, impactful week in American history. What the hell happens next? We are recording on Monday, September 15th. Charles, you have some thoughts. Again, more to consider. Like and subscribe and leave comments. I know people are going to leave some comments about this, sure. What do you think about the impact of this week and what interests you about it?
Well, I found that the thing that's most interesting is how people are reacting to it and how their employers are reacting to them. There's lots of people out there that are saying some really nasty stuff.
Sure.
And generally, as I said before, or have said in the past, that this nasty stuff is coming from the left. It's coming from Democrats. They just don't care as to a guy being murdered in front of 1,000 people. And, his wife now, a widow, and his children not having a father, and so on and so forth. They don't care. They essentially say, well, he deserved it, or what he was saying, he shouldn't have been saying those things. And this is what happens when you say this type of stuff. And then their employers are like, yeah, can I talk to you in the office for a little bit? Yeah, go ahead, pack your stuff up and, be on your merry way. And then the people are literally having a fit like, I can't believe they're firing me. Well, yeah, because you've turned into a liability. That's why. And I don't think an employer wants a liability like that. It's just going to say the most ridiculous things about somebody dying. Not just dying, being murdered, which is the worst. And it's, sorry, women or ladies, it's mostly women that this is happening to.
Yeah.
They're the ones that seem to have felt the most threatened.
The videos I've seen, I think it's been more women than men.
Yeah.
Probably about 2-1, maybe 3-1. Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing a study on that or counting, but it does seem that way.
Because they felt the most threatened by him because of what he said. But all the guy was saying, and by the way, I've had to go through this with several other close black friends and family members of mine. And I've had to send them videos of Charlie Kirk because they've never watched him long form.
Right.
They only had seen a clip or something like that. And I'm like, no, you need to listen to long form because it's nothing that he's saying that's racist. It just isn't. What he's saying is the truth. And he's saying take accountability for what you do. And by default, if everybody takes accountability for what they do, especially in the black community, then the community itself will rise. That's all he's saying. But you have to first say that something's wrong. And a lot of people don't like that, especially women don't. And he's saying that there's nothing wrong with a woman foregoing this high-powered career to go raise children.
Right.
Because really, that is the most important thing on the planet to do is to raise your children right. Not you becoming a CEO, because you just want what some other guy has. We have different, as our friend, as you say all the time, as our friend said, we're equal, but we're not the same.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So do I find it funny that these people are getting fired because of their reaction towards this? Actually, I do, because I think those people really, truly thought that they could say whatever they wanted because they had been saying it for so long.
Let me say something, though, on that I think is really at the core of this. And it's going to address to some degree the environment we're in. Okay. We have heard. All right, let me back up and say this. There's kind of an old saw, and I don't think it's far off the mark. We come into the world not really knowing how we got here. I mean, in the most basic sense, we're living, breathing, and we can think, and we can feel, and we can see. And therefore, throughout, and this is not a theological argument, but throughout time, man has worshiped the sun, the wind, the stars, whatever. That's kind of what we do.
Right.
And I think when you say these people are posting things on social media, and then they're like, what, son of a, you're firing me over this? Like, I'm on the right side of this. So I think the point of it is, it kind of gets back into the whole, would you kill the baby Hitler thing? It's all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you've heard a drumbeat of, and I've seen a million of these montages already shown where it is prominent figures in politics, prominent figures, Trump and or people that follow him are Nazis. This is Hitler. I mean, these are people in high elected office saying repeatedly, he's this. We have a higher level of drugs being more people drugged for psychiatric problems than probably any time in the history of the world. So you have a lot of people out there. They're lonely. They're hurt. They may be hurting.
Right.
And they're looking for notoriety potentially. So you have a lot of danger there. And if somebody keeps a drumbeat going of this person is out to hurt marginalized group of people, all the different terms you hear, I could certainly see why somebody hearing that would think there's a call to do something because these people are so evil, which is why in a show that we did prior, you know, when Trump got shot out last year, when some people were coming out and saying, hey, I'm just so terribly sorry. Violence is not the answer. You were the same person last week that said the country would go into a dictatorship, that we would never have another free election. I mean, all these things were said. So now we're going to get into the whole question of who's turning up the rhetoric and how do we turn all the rhetoric down and all that. But my point about the religion aspect of it is this has become a religion to some people.
Yes.
I'm against people that they believe to be fascists and the rest. So, and I will say something else. And gosh, it just crossed my mind because I heard it earlier today. I have thought about certain things, and I think you get in the moment sometimes, we all do it, where we get a little bit provocative. And this is, well, I'm going to say it's not meant to be a criticism, but I do think it's an issue. When you talk about trying to enlighten people about what Kirk was actually saying, I saw him on one of these shorts that they were showing, and he said, I mean, this is kind of what he said. If I see a black pilot as I board the airplane, I have to wonder, is that a DEI hire? And this guy comes back with, well, how do you know he's not qualified? I think what would have been more effective and not maybe led to some of the shorts that they put on him, you're almost in a professorial type of setting there. If I were to say to you, so Charles, do you think if we had an environment where maybe not necessarily the most qualified gets the gig, but it's somebody to fill a quota, if that were true, would it be reasonable for someone to say, maybe we have to be concerned about the credentials of that person? If you say it like that, but what he said is, anytime I see a black pilot, I have to wonder, you know, so then that was part of that stuff that was thrown at him, racially charged. And go ahead.
Well, this is one of these instances where it was taken out of context because there's more to what he was saying.
Oh, I know, no doubt, no doubt. No, I don't question that. But and maybe it's because I had that kind of situation when I was a college professor.
Well, hold on.
I wanted to make sure I didn't make definitive statements. Like, I get on the plane, I worry about the black guy that's a pilot because I'm afraid.
No. I'm not saying that you said it either. What I'm saying is that, but I'm sure, let's just say, for instance, you did say something like that.
Right.
I'm sure you would say afterwards that, hey, the reason that I have this concern is because of the culture that we have right now where people are getting jobs not based on their merit or their skills or their competency, but solely based off of what group they're in.
Well, so that's a logical argument, right? That is
It is a logical argument, and that's what Charlie Kirk was saying, specifically when it came to the DEI thing. But they never played at half of it. Kind of like they never played at half of the all fine people on both sides thing. They don't like playing the other part of it, what he says, oh, but I'm not talking about those people and so on and so forth. It's like they're doing this because they just want to take one little itty bitty piece of what he's saying and then run with it because they know that makes people, that gets emotional people riled up. That's all. Yeah. That's all they did.
Okay. I'm just narrowly saying again, and I know it sounds, it sounds like a criticism, and he did not deserve to die. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I think that part of his style, because I've certainly seen a lot of videos where I thought he was very kind to people. He gave them opportunities to speak in the rest.
Yep.
But I just remember this one spot, and the words in a particular order appeared to be, if I see the black pilot, I have to wonder, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But put a different way, I don't want to go all the way down this road, but if we use something and it's used a lot, but let's face it, what percent of the NBA is black? 75, 80%?
Probably, yeah.
Right. So if they came out with the program and said we need diversity, equity, and inclusion in the NBA, and we need to go to 50% to represent something of white players and a certain percent of Asians or whatever, and you were a fan, and they ran on the floor 3 white guys, an Asian guy, and a black guy, could a fan maybe go, whoa, what are we doing here? Okay, go ahead.
It's funny that you say that, because there's this video of this guy either down at the Auburn game, or maybe it may have been a Florida State, not a Florida State, a University of Florida game,
right?
Where he does this before the game. He's walking through the campus and he's talking to these people about diversity and inclusion and stuff. And well, yeah, it's a good thing. We should have this. And then he pulls out the roster of the football team with pictures, and he's like, so what about this? And they're like, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And again, I know that's a sensitive, and it's, but there are things that we see that we kind of stereotype, and we believe that there's a certain pattern of excellence within certain things. And if we saw something outside of it, we might question how it became that way, whatever. And anyway, and kind of closing the loop on this, I think one of the other concerns that I developed from all of this is it's a nasty world. But we can say this too. There are tons of other submissions being made on social media where people are like, I align my views with a particular party and or ideology. I'm out. I know.
Right.
Right. So there's some of that too. I do find it fast. I mean, but we're doing it. I mean, I said this one of the first shows. I mean, like, we want to do this kind of barbershop thing. We're friends. We want to talk about issues, and we want to be entertaining to some degree. But we're a part of it. I mean, we're involved. We're doing this. We're doing it in front of a camera. Yeah. But the people that want to get on and say these things and not thinking there's going to be a repercussion, like I know you and I, again, both politically in a lot of ways probably align pretty much. We argue all the time. It's part of our friendship. We like to argue about stuff, but we never seek. I know neither one of us ever seeks to be offensive to anyone.
No,
we're not seeking to be offensive, but by saying, yeah, go ahead.
Unless it is a obvious joke, obvious one that no one could ever take seriously. Because I think most people will do that.
I was thinking about another one too, though, like the time, and I've done it on a couple of shows where I called out Mark Milley for saying that the Constitution defined blacks as 3/4 of a human. Like when I was critical of that, I'm saying, again, I've said over and over, you got the fraction wrong, and you don't understand the 3/5 compromise.
Right.
Where the abolitionists didn't want slaves to be counted at all to give the South greater representation, which I can't believe a Princeton graduate didn't quite get. But yeah, I was being critical in that criticism because I thought
it's justifiable. Yeah,
you're in front of Congress and you're justifying DEI programs and the indoctrination of troops to hate, whites or to seek out the white supremacists, etc. And he uses that example from history, misses the fraction, misses the whole point behind it. Yeah, you have to kind of
see. I would love to have been sitting in Congress at a time where he's being called questioned about this, and I would ask him. I said, "So, General, how would you have felt about DEI being used in the SFQ course? And what that means is a Special Forces Qualification course. Would you have thought that it was okay for them just to put people in there that may have to watch your back when the bullets start flying? Is that what you want, General?" Right. I just about guarantee if he has any bit of a shred of integrity, he would have said, well, no, I want the best person.
Yeah. But again, I don't think that we seek to not alienate people, like single people out for their beliefs or whatever. And that whole thing about whether there's ramifications with these people saying things, it's up to the employer.
Yes,
it's up to the employer. And some people have waited and said, you've now identified yourself in a way that is detrimental to what we do.
Yeah.
And there you go.
This isn't a free speech issue because it doesn't apply to your employer. It just doesn't. That First Amendment thing is a prohibition on the government, not Starbucks. So if you go and say all kinds of banana stuff and Starbucks gets wind of it, yeah, they may be asking you for your black smock or whatever.
Right.
They don't have badges.
I got a hard stop today on this. Man. Again, like and subscribe, and please leave comments. I'm going to ask you this question real quick. Just give me about a minute here or so on. Where do you think it all goes from here?
Ooh, I honestly think that it's going to get a little bit worse first, and then it will plateau, and then it start getting better once people start seeing the ridiculousness in those who are saying, and actually it's already starting. It's already starting. People are saying, it's already starting. And those people,
I think it has too.
They're being pointed out. Even people who they were allied with, shoulder to shoulders, they're like, no, dude, you're nuts for this one. I'm out of here. And that's kind of sort of what's happening.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too. Oh, Asteroid 2028.
All right.
I'm just
talk to you soon. Thank you, folks, for listening. Please like, subscribe. Appreciate all the subscribers. We've done a really good job with getting subscriptions up recently.
Yes.
Please subscribe. Keep coming back. Thank you so much.
All right, bro.
Later, babe.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, subscribe and hit your notification button to get an update when we post another episode. See you soon.